Sinister. Now, before I start with this, you might be wondering, why am I doing this in the dark? I'm doing this in the dark because since Halloween is in a couple days, I figure that I do something new for a movie and talk about it. So I'll sit in the dark and I pray nobody comes up and grabs me from the neck. So let's talk about Sinister. Basically, Sinister stars Ethan Hawke. He plays a writer, and it says that he's kind of a mediocre one at best. And him and his family go to this house, and I forget where, and he's going to do his book around these murder cases of these kids that were killed. And as the movie goes on, he finds this box filled with film canisters, and he starts watching them. And then it kind of turns into a found footage type of movie, but only for like 5 minutes or so. It's not that long. And when it starts to happen, you're like, oh, come on with it. Okay, all right, you're done. So that's basically our plot, and it just turns into like a jump scare type of movie. But as far as the movie goes, I liked it, and this is coming from a guy that doesn't really care about scary movies anymore. I think they're dying. I just think that they're the same old shit all the time, and they're just remaking all the classics and just stabbing them in the balls and letting them bleed in the desert. I mean, that's just how I feel. And now we have to rely on paranormal movies to be the future, and I say that's dumb. I'm out. If there was any doubt of which movie to see on Halloween Day, don't see Paranormal Activity 4, and don't see Silent Hill. This is the one you want to see. Is it great? No. Is it good enough to see in a theater? I think it is. I think the thing that makes this movie work the most are the characters. I think Ethan Hawke is very good. I think he's extremely likable. I like his family. I like his kids, his wife. I like him in it. I just love how they talk. I like how they act. And usually in scary movies or so, you always get that character that you just do not care about. I'm like, I hope he dies. But in this one, you're like, I don't want any of these people to die because they're extremely, they're nice people. They're logical people. They're logical characters, and that's something you don't get in scary movies nowadays. I think the jump scares, probably 90% of them work. There's probably 2 of them that are kind of goofy. Like there's one where, all the kids are watching a movie and they turn to Ethan Hawke and they're like, shh, and then the fucking dude just comes out and scares. You've already seen that in the trailer, so they're like, oh, boo, okay, I was scared of that. All right. But most of them work, and I think a thing that makes me not like scary movies nowadays is the sound. Like they rely so definitely on the sound to scare you. If you see any scary film in a movie theater, they rely on the bass. It's not like someone like legitimately like scares you. It's just, okay, we're gonna go to a fucking Best Buy and buy the loudest speakers possible, and we're gonna scare the shit out of these people. And to its credit, it works, but it's lazy. I don't think that this movie does that. Maybe a couple times it does, but that's not its primary goal, or that's not its primary weapon of choice. It's not its sound effects. It's legitimately trying to scare you, and it works. Also, the thing that I love about Sinister is the imagery. I think the demon that we see in the movie is very creepy. I think like the pictures that these kids draw is very creepy. I think the footages that we see, like the one in the beginning where the family's hanging by the neck, creepy. Just creepy stuff, man. I mean, I when I got done watching it, I was like, that's I'm not gonna forget about that. That's just terrifying. Um, and the movie's not that long either, so that helps. um, the reason why I say it's not that great, it's still good, but it's not that great. And my primary reason for that is the ending. I think the first two acts of not paranormal, wow, of Sinister are phenomenal. I was in love with this movie for the first two acts. And then the last act just takes a turn for the worse. It turns into something that you've already seen before. And you're like, out of all the things you could have done, this is the thing that you pull out of your hat. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys, but let's just say if you think of two ways that the movie could have ended, I guarantee you one of those two you're going to be right. And the one that they pick is just that's just not cool. I mean, the way they do it, to its credit, is kind of creepy, but in its context, it's like, yeah, I didn't like that, and that makes me drop it down a point because you guys were doing so good for the first hour and 10 minutes, and then you guys just drop the ball completely. I mean, did you run out of ideas? Did you have to find a way to, like, okay, we have this great story, these great characters, how are we going to end it? I got an idea. We can just do this. And doesn't work. Doesn't work at all. At least for me, it doesn't work. I know some people were terrified by the ending. That I was just like, you could have did better. But is it the worst ending ever? No, far from it. It's just, in this movie, it doesn't work. Outside of that, though, I really don't have anything else to add to Sinister. I mean, it's a good, scary movie. I mean, I would definitely go see it in the theater if you haven't already. Go check it out. Don't see it by yourself. See it in the dark. That's how I saw it, at least. Like I am in right now. So see it in the dark. It's very scary, very entertaining characters. And it's a breath of fresh air for those people that say, you know what, horror movies are not dead. And this proves it. I think the writing in this is great, and I think that people should start making movies like this that are original, and they're fun, and they're, scary. So I give Sinister a thumbs up. So yeah, that was Sinister. Hope you guys like it. See ya.